What's going on, people? Welcome once again to Raw Boxing TV. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video and really taking the time to hear some truth. I'm not being cocky, but it's just what I vowed to do. Just tell it like it is. Although 95% of the boxing public don't like to hear it. They like to hear what other channels like to offer. Channels that are in the same bandwagon. Apparently, what I said yesterday in one of my videos, that Rigondeaux is everybody's daddy when it comes to his opponents. Apparently, somebody got offended because they told me I took it just a little too far, and I don't know, that must have offended him for him to make that comment. I didn't know that, I didn't know that as a boxing fan, you were so into one specific fighter. I thought that as a boxing fan, you're supposed to be into most of the fighters out there. But anyways, whatever floats, not even your boat, but your canoe. The reason I said that is because at the end of the day, whether you get offended or not, Rigondeaux is everybody's daddy. From 118 to 126, I don't see anybody, not even the young guys coming up, I don't see anybody beating Rigo. Nobody. Magdaleno can't beat him. Santa Cruz can't beat him. Monetize can't beat him. Nobody can beat Rigo. I mean, for all you know, he might lose to the jab in a couple of days. But none of these so-called famous fighters can beat Rigo, because Rigo is the daddy of them all. Whether you like to hear it or not, unfortunately for you, it's the truth. I'm kind of like trying to figure out how people think, mainly in this country. Because, coincidentally, you don't hear fans from south of the border talking like that, which is amazing. You don't hear fans in Canada talking like that. Best of all, you don't hear European fans talking like that. Only people in America, and when I say people in America, I don't necessarily mean Americans. I mean anybody who's living in this country and who is a fan of professional boxing talking. That's that's how they're talking here in America. But it's so funny when they come and tell me, well, Rigo is never gonna be famous. We got fans talking about money, arguing the money the fighters are going to make. Like if you as a fan made a single dime out of that. But you guys talk about, you guys protect this fighter's money so much that I think you guys, I think if these fighters heard you themselves, they probably hired you just to make sure their money is protected. Because you can't find an actual technical way to put Rigo under your favorite fighter. You can't find a boxing way to do it. You got to talk about money, something you have no part of. As a fan, I can care three less what a fighter's making. If he's holding a belt, I want him to fight the best. And if you are a fan out there, if you're a fighter out there who's gotten a little bit of name and you call yourself one of the best and people are calling you one of the best, you better be fighting the best in order to show me that you're the best. And the best is Rigondeaux. The best. You talk about Leo Santa Cruz. He's such a coward because in interviews, all he says to pretty much get rid of the Rigo subject is, nobody likes to fight his style, this and that. Well, I'm pretty sure that you line up all of Leo Santa Cruz fans in one side, and on the other side, you line up every single Santa Cruz opponent, and not all of your fans are going to be okay with all of the styles they have become part of your record. So when you say nobody, that's a big word, because you're including me, you're including all the people that like Rigondeaux, and I'm sorry, I'd rather pay $1,000 to watch Rigo than to pay $50 to watch Santa Cruz. Because when it comes to boxing, purity is the best asset. But there you go. But listen up. But listen to how even not only the fans contradict themselves. Listen to this. They tell me that Rigo cannot fight Santa Cruz because Rigondeaux does not bring forth the following, right? The people that Santa Cruz needs, right? Therefore, Santa Cruz cannot make the money that he should make, which is a total nonsense. I already told you on the video yesterday. Rigo, the highest paid on his division. No one above him. Highest paid. No one above him. At 122, the highest paid. No Nito Donaire, highest purse. Rigondeaux. The only time No Nito Donaire had sort of like a 24/7 was because he was fighting Rigondeaux. Not the Japanese fighter. Not D'Artagnan. Not Arce. Not all. Rigondeaux was the one that put him on the 24/7. And No Nito put Rigo on the 24/7. So again, I say two great fighters come together and people will do something for it. You guys saying this fight can't happen because Rigo cannot bring the views, the people. Again, bias, dumb, microscopical knowledge. You're gonna tell me that as a fan, you're not gonna want to see your fighter, your favorite fighter perhaps, fight a fighter, which will be Rigo, who is considered one of the best actually at his division, who is considered the highest paid in his division, who is undefeated, a fighter who, if you are able to win, will put you at the top, on the pinnacle, no one above you. Just because he doesn't bring the views, the seats. However, you do support your fighter fighting his sparring partner, who also does not fill in the seat, who does not give your fighter the money that perhaps he would like to make, perhaps you would like to see him make, who will not, if your fighter was to beat him, who will not put your fighter at the top of the list, and better yet, who is also unknown. So let me tell you something, and let me ask you something, expert fan. Out of those two fighters in the same condition, one cannot give you money because he doesn't bring the seat. It's not that known. Your former sparring partner, right? If you beat him, he won't put you at the top of the list. When you do fight him, you won't make as much money, nor will you gain any belts. Would you like to see him with him? Or would you like to see him with this fighter who, if you beat him, will put you at the top of the list, who, fighting him, will give you the most money you've ever made in the sport of boxing, who, if you beat him, you will gain a couple of belts in your waist, who, according to you, doesn't fill in the seats, who is being called your daddy, who? You're saying Rigo can't happen because he can't bring in seats, but he brings all these goods as far as money, purse, belt, but you'd rather see your fighter fight somebody in the same shape, but to make even things worse, can't give you money, can't give you belts, won't move you up in the list as much as Rigo's would? Wow, you ain't really a fan at all. See, the difference between us, and I'm gonna say us, speaking from the people that I know, the difference between a Cuban fan and the reason between anybody else, and I won't mention specific name because I've argued with a bunch of people, is that we don't care about whether the opponent is bringing in money. If that opponent is in my fighter's weight division and he's holding a belt, I want my fighter to go and take his belt. And I want my fighter to put him behind. Especially if my fighter will gain so much recognition by beating him. Especially if my fighter will make the most money he's ever made by fighting him. Especially if my fighter will take all those belts and bring it to his own waist. That's the difference between a Cuban fan, specifically me, and the rest of y'all. Rigo don't bring name. Neither does Leo Santa Cruz opponents that he's faced. Yet he keeps fighting these bums, and you guys keep talking about like what a great fighter Santa Cruz is. You see what I mean? You see that? You see what a difference when you stop and think before you open your mouth? You guys keep attacking me with this nonsense of Rigo not filling in seats, not known, not having the support, but he's fighting guys who are offering him less than Rigo and who also don't have the ability to fill in a estadio. And you would say, well, Ranger, you don't understand. When he fought Agbeco, people left. Well, when he fought Agbeco, people were there to see Tapia. Tapia got knocked out. Obviously, all of Tapia's friends who were disappointed left. And that would never happen to... Listen, one of your favorite fighters, Mikey Garcia, Mexican descendant, went through the same thing. But how come nobody's talking about that? Well, Ranger, you're lying. Am I lying? Let's go back to when he fought Burgos, who actually... and know that this is the best fighting another best, regardless of who brings in more seats. You can't find an excuse for Rigo. He's eliminating them. Not only is he the highest paid athlete, not only does any fighter at 122 that fights him will make the most money he's ever made up to date, but Rigo is not running, which he never did, but now he's not moving as much. He's staying there. He's walking opponents down. But you're still using the same excuse. Something that's no longer there. Rigo is everybody's daddy. Period. It's quite simple, guys. Listen. Why did I say it the way fans are talking here in America? The majority of the people that argue with me, unfortunately, are of Mexican descendants. How do I know this? Because when I go into their channels, they either have the music from there, they either have something with the flag from there, you read their comments. But it's sad because when you watch Azteca Box or Boxeo Azteca, which is in Mexico, and you hear the Mexican commentators, wow, it's like apples and oranges. When you see the actual Mexican fans from Mexico talking boxing and compare them to the Mexicans that are in here, well, the majority of them, obviously when I say that, it's not including all of them, it's like apples and oranges. When you look at the Europeans, when they talk boxing, it's so different. It's like they have such an appreciation for the sport because, when that fighter fights, he's not making money from that fighter's purse. It's so crazy. It's such a day and night situation. It's crazy. Really and truly. So next time you tell me that excuse of Rigo not bringing in no fruit, Rigo not bringing in the views, make the fight and watch what happens. Make the fight and watch what happens. I guarantee you'll be seeing Leo Santa Cruz in either All Access or Showtime or 24/7. I guarantee you'll see Leo Santa Cruz making the most money he's ever made. I guarantee you will be disappointed because he's not the fighter who you thought he was, because when he finds himself in front of somebody who is hitting him, by the time he's going to attack him, the guy either already has another answer or is no longer there, You're going to be disappointed. And then you guys are going to realize once again, I'm just tired of following all this hyped up boxers. See, that's the difference between you and me. You follow hyped boxers. I follow boxers who are proven themselves. Don't get me wrong, every boxer out there is appreciated because they contribute to the sport. But don't you come here talking to me about their righteousness or your righteousness. Because it's apples and oranges. Apples and oranges. And unfortunately for you, again I say, Rigondeaux is everybody's daddy. And you want me to throw you a challenge out there? If you don't believe me that he's everybody's daddy, mention one fighter from 118 all the way up to 126 that can beat him. Oh, but don't just throw me a name, because I can just say amateur boxer from the gym down the corner can beat Rigo. Don't just throw me a name. Tell me what is it that they do that will beat Rigo. Tell me what is it that they do that will neutralize Rigo's thinking. Tell me what is it that they do that will force Rigo to abandon his fight plan and fight a fight that's not convenient for him, causing him to lose either by UD or knockout. Don't just throw me a name. Tell me who, why, and how. And then I'm going to tell you how you're wrong. And I'm going to show you how you're wrong. Take me up on that challenge. It's not a personal thing. It's just having fun with boxing. You throw me your thing, I throw you my thing, and we keep at it. Again, guys, listen. We need to just chillax in this boxing thing. You know, you see me how I talk to you. I tell you how it is, but you don't see me calling you all effing things and effing that. I see people fighting in my comment section, and they tell each other such words that it's like, this don't even look like they've been raised by parents with education. These people, man, listen, guys, just chillax. You can argue and keep it clean. Like I told you before, there are kids that watch these videos, and by watching these videos, they read these comments. You know, when you coming in here and you're talking effing Cuban, effing Mexicans, effing blacks, and this, guys, this is why this country specifically, it's laughing its way into hell, but it will not laugh its way out of it, because people are not stopping to think before they talk. Just chillax. We can have an educated argument. We can have a back and forward subject without bringing up the issue of race. Because let me tell you something, like that dude that dared himself to send me a comment talking about, oh, you know, but Fidel's got you guys over there all messed up. You know, in Montemorelo, I think it was. I think that's Mexico. I have a house in this. Listen, guy, I don't think you're the guy to talk to me about Fidel and Cuban policies, because Peña Nieto's got Mexico upside down, unfortunately. And like I said, we don't need to involve these subjects in boxing. Rigo, everybody's daddy. Raw. Listen to that name. Raw. Don't tell me to calm down with my comments, because that's the reason I named my channel Raw Boxing TV. Subscribe. I'm out.